we do? Anna, what did we do? She said 2.5 ordering fractions. And Kaya, really loud, what was the I can statement?
I can order fractions.
Awesome. Vocab word, like denominator. Give me the opposite of a like denominator in the count of 3. 1, 2, 3.
Unlike.
What's the opposite of a like denominator?
Unlike.
Unlike. That, just quizzing you if you're paying attention here. Don't really need to know that yet. How do you get like denominators? Remember, there's a rule. Our first example would be ordering 3/4, 5, 6, and 2/3. We talked about establishing the denominator. Hey, Mrs. Asher, you don't say anything really mean to me because you're being recorded right now. As we were saying, you get a common denominator, you write that common denominator, and then you figure out the numerator after that. Remember, in order to get the common denominator, like in 3/4, we had to multiply the 4 by the what, you guys? 4 by what?
3.
And so if you multiply the bottom by 3, you have to multiply the top by
3.
the same number. Okay, you guys got that?
Yep.
Okie dokie. Here is inequalities, what they're called. We didn't really give it a name, but when you're talking about greater than, less than, or equal to, you're talking about inequalities. Basically, it's saying which one's bigger. In this case, we determined that 5/8 is bigger than 7/12 because we found common denominators. You have to find common denominators to compare fractions. Then we moved into adding and subtracting fractions. We see that on example number 4, 2/5 and 1/5 easy because it has a common denominator. And then basically we said there are 2 things you must do to add or subtract fractions. 1, make sure you have a like denominator. If you don't, get one. 2, only add the numerator, do not add the denominator, right? Yes, no?
Yes.
Number 5. Number 6. Hello, Mrs. Miller, don't say anything mean about me because you're now on video. You're the second person who's joined our video in the last 1 minute and 56 seconds. All right. So on number 5, we added with unlike denominators. At number 6, we subtracted with unlike denominators. And on number 7, what do you have to make sure you reduce when you get an answer like 2/12? I'm sorry, I just said it. What do you have to make sure you do when you get an answer like 2/12, everybody?
Reduce.
Reduce. And when you reduce, you have to reduce when the numerator and the denominator have what? A common what? A common what? No. In this situation, we have a 2 and we have a 12. What do we do? How do we know we need to reduce this then, Briggs? Because 2 and 12 both have a common factor, right? In this case, we said the common factor was 2. Then the last problem, we were talking about some pumpkin pies. Make sure you read the problem carefully because we asked how much pie was left after Yasmin and Anthony had part of it. It was a multi-step problem. The first thing we had to do was determine the problem. I think Anthony ate 1/8. Yasmin ate 2/6. We found common denominators. We found out that they ate 11/24 of the pie. But the question was, how much pie was left? So we took the whole pie, which is 24/24. We subtracted 11/24 of it. And we said 13/24 of the pie was left for Mr. Pottinger and Joey to eat. Any questions?